All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Loyalist. All right. Now, today is going to be an interesting day. We're going to go over quite a few things, including the injury report that has, dropped, obviously. Now, I'm going to tell you what, as you saw on the thumbnail, we are not going to have Jonathan Taylor. And surprise, surprise, we're not going to have Nyheim Hines either. So there's going to be a little bit of an interesting lineup sitting there in the backfield behind Sam Ehlinger. But I'll tell you what, as bad as you think it is for the Indianapolis Colts, wait until you hear, or should I say see, the New England Patriots injury report, because I think they're hurting worse than we are. And Frank Reich has known pretty much all week that he may or may not, most likely may not, have had Jonathan Taylor in this game. And even if he did, he knew he was going to be kind of gimpy, so to say, with that ankle injury. So, I think that that's one of the reasons why we went out and got a former running back, I think, is because, the situation that we were currently in. Loyalist. What do you think about the fact that we're not going to have Jonathan Taylor in this game? Is it going to affect us that much?
Well, I mean, JT is underperformed compared to what our expectations are. And you look at the limited, reps that we've seen with Deion Jackson a few weeks back, he filled in nicely. So will we miss JT from what our expectations were? Yes. But when you sit there and you look at what we've gotten from the run game and stuff, I think that can be replaceable. Now a lot of this boils down to what it has every week, how disciplined are we and how good does that O-line play and stuff. But I will say, guys, real quick, make sure you smash that like and hit the subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and ring that notification bell. That way, when we go live, you guys can be notified, because I wanted to get that out there before we got into this injury report, because it's going to take us a few minutes, because both of them are impressively long.
Yeah, well, honestly, the injury, matter of fact, let's just drop in here real quick and look at this injury report for the Indianapolis Colts as we take a quick look. Actually, I scrolled down. I shouldn't have scrolled down. Let's get up here to the Colts side of things. Now, out Tony Brown, he's actually fairly important. Obviously, he is one of our special teams aces that we've had this year. So that's a hurt. Dennis Kelly being questionable is because, I mean, let's face it, Kelly hasn't been exactly premier the last couple of weeks. I actually kind of like the idea of maybe starting Ryman. What are your thoughts on that aspect?
Me personally, I would love to have them both available. Okay. And I'm much more leaning towards because it's a game time decision, but you look at all the reports and stuff coming out, and I'm not thinking that he'll be there. And that right there is going to put a lot of stress on Bernard Ryman is who I'm figuring they'll put in there, which I'm happy about getting him those reps, but I also wanted to get a little bit of that stability, because yes, Dennis Kelly has not been lights out. None of our offensive linemen have this year, but still he did bring a little bit of stability. And now like you said, you look at, you've lost your number one running back. You've lost your Nyheim Hines, you've lost your offensive coordinator. Now you've got a flux at this O-line. That's a lot of obstacles for a quarterback who's only going into his second game.
Absolutely. Now you got to kind of take a lot of these names on this list as kind of salt, right? Because Zach Moss, obviously not injury related. Unique, just had rest. Matt Ryan, we already knew he wasn't going to be playing, right? Grant Stewart, another special teamer, will be out in this game. And then, of course, Jonathan Taylor. Those are our outs. Now, obviously, a big question mark is EJ Speed, right? Down here on the bottom here. That's a big deal. Because he is really important in that rotation at the linebacker position, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you guys remember what was 2 weeks ago when Taekwon Lewis stretched that play out, for the, and then EJ came in and blew that thing up at the end of the game and helped us, continue moving in the right direction. We're going to miss that play because, his name, speed. He brought a ton of speed. And the limited reps that he did get, he was very effective. So, yes, it's going to hurt, but I think that the coaching staff will be able to work around this one. But Bubba Ventrone's got his hands full. Like you said, losing Brock or Grant Stewart and then also losing Tony Brown. That's big. I mean, we've sat there and said, we always want to try to win at least two phases of this game. Bubba, get in there. I'm sure you've already been planning for this and stuff, but hopefully, that some of these guys come in and step in and help Bubba look like a hero again this week, and help that special teams outperform.
Names on this list that is actually exciting to me is guys like Kwity Paye. Kwity Paye was limited, obviously, on Wednesday, but full practice both weeks. I was told by players that, he was expected to play this week, that he was good to go. I'm glad they didn't lie to me, because I did say that to everybody else too, that he was expected to play, and he is a go. And with the loss of Taekwon Lewis, Taekwon came in when Kwity got hurt and stepped up the play. Now Kwity can return that favor, right?
Yeah, and though that line, those front four, front seven, they have to ball out this game. I mean, that offensive line, you'll see as we get into this, it's a little dinged up on the other side of this thing. So, yeah, I'm hoping Kwity comes out there and he's like, I've had a few weeks of rest and I'm ready to just bring the heat, because that's a big thing for his game, is just that high motor and stuff. And let's not forget Dio Dengbo, get him out there, him and Oda Nigbo, get those two young men out there, get them some reps. So I am very happy to see Kwity back. I cannot express to you how disappointing the Taekwon Lewis loss was. But as far as that go, you're starting to bring him in, and another name is Shaq. Shaq's back in, still going to be on a rep count and stuff. I understand, but at least, we saw last week, even though that interception wasn't of his making, it was more of a Taekwon hitting the quarterback's arm. But whenever he had the opportunity, he capitalized on it. It wasn't this thing's just getting knocked down to the ground or anything.
Well, what's nice is Shaq Leonard's not even on the report, which is freaking amazing to me. Grover Stewart, you see, is on the report, but it's rest. DeForest Buckner is mainly rest. They just added the shoulder to that, but really it was more of a rest day for him. So a lot, like I said, a lot of these, rest day for Yent, the whole defensive line outside of, the loss of Taekwon Lewis is pretty darn healthy. And that's going to come in huge, considering we're going to slide down here to the Patriots injury report. And that top name right there is freaking monstrous, ladies and gentlemen. David Andrews is a monster at center, and he will not be playing due to a concussion. And guys, that's going to be huge for both our tackles, right? Yeah. I mean, Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Eat, my guys. It's time to eat. That ringing you hear, that's a dinner bell for eating a little bit of mac and cheese on Sunday.
Absolutely. And then, hey, let me slide on down here, and you see Marcus Cannon is out as well. The offensive tackle, he also had a concussion. So we're talking about guys across their offensive line that's pretty banged up, but it's not just their offensive line. You see a name here, Devontae freaking Parker. All right. He's a really good wide receiver out there. And with him missing this game due to a knee injury, that's going to free up our guys like, a certain Stephon Gilmore to be able to move on to a next guy and maybe completely shut him out.
Yeah. And like you said, that really takes away one of their big weapons. We always talk about you want to make these guys one-dimensional and stuff, and as you go down a little bit lower, you can sit there and see that, you got Damian Harris that's on questionable and stuff. Well, that right now is a very big question mark for them guys, because, like you take Parker away, they're going to want to lean a lot more on that run game and stuff. So if Harris even if he is a go, he's not going to be, at 100% or productive to the level that you're used to.
And okay, the guys beneath Damian Harris, we're looking at Christian Barmore, who is definitely a run stuffing defensive tackle for the Patriots. And Kyle Duggar is a box safety, ladies and gentlemen. He's a big boy box safety, and they're both questionable, dealing with a knee and an ankle respectively. So that's going to help out the fact that Jonathan Taylor's not there. Walking down Harris, and then their other backup running back, Pierre Strong, he's dealing with a hamstring injury. Good. Look at all these. Dietrich Wise, their defensive end, dealing with an ankle. Jack Jones is questionable due to an illness. And Josh Uche, the linebacker. That's just, wow. All right, you thought that our injury report was bad. These are guys that they expect to play. A lot of these guys play as starters, and they're questionable or out.
Yeah, and when you start tinkering with the leadership of guys like Duggar, that is really going to put a lot of stress on that defense. And then you look at the quarterbacks that they have healthy. I like the matchup of our receivers and Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman Jr. Just on the size alone. I love that matchup. So it's starting to look like this Sunday is going to be not pretty football, but you know what? Right now, I don't care. I just want it to be winning football for the Colts. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Michael Littleton? Appreciate you being in here. Glad you could catch us live. That's awesome. We apologize for being about 10 minutes late. We were dealing with some other stuff. Honestly, I lost track of time. Okay. It was all my fault. I'm not going to put that blame on Loyalist at all. He was loyally sitting in the background and texted me, called me actually, and was like, dude, and I'm like, oh man, my bad. So that's on me. I apologize for that. Guys, this is going to be a tough one. Look, anytime you go into Foxboro and play at Gillette, it's a tough game. It's a tough game, especially let alone the fact that, we've got a quarterback that's playing in his second game, and his first game on the road is against Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. Boy, a lot is going to be on the plate of Frank Reich now, because he's the OC as well, to be able to draw up game plans and plays to help him out, because Bill Belichick is going to draw up game designs defensively to confuse the heck out of this young quarterback.
Yeah, and the thing is Sam did real well last week. He didn't look like anything was freaking him out. I mean, he got a little antsy with his footwork on a couple plays, but let's be honest, that's sort of, going to be expected. But when you sit there and look at the whole encompassing game, he had a very solid game, So I don't know that it's going to affect him as much as in his headspace as far as nerves. Oh, I'm playing Bill Belichick and stuff like that, like some of the fan base is painting this thing out to be. But you still have to respect, like you said, what Belichick and this defense. I mean, it's going to be really difficult on Sam, especially with all these injuries, on trying to assess what the defense is doing. I mean, it's already difficult enough, with the way they do that whole bubblegum defense where everybody's just sort of bouncing around on the line and you don't know what you're getting into. But now you start adding in different names and stuff that you haven't watched a lot of film on. So Sam and the offense is going to have a lot of communication that they're going to have to sort out early in the game and settle into this game. But I'll tell you right now, get out there, Coach Wright, his as we've said, Brady's gone. This is what it was all about, the starting drive and stuff. So if this offense can go out there and handle the communication and stuff, and the offensive line can play decent, I like our chances as far as starting off a little bit better than what we have lately.
Yeah, honestly, it's all about ball control. Don't give up the ball. Don't fumble the football. Don't turn the ball over, okay? Because our defense, I feel like, has a chance to get some takeaways in this game. But if we just give it away on offense, then what's the point, right? There's no point in just sitting there trading the ball back and using the football as a hot potato. It's not good. Okay. That's not what we want to see. This isn't the Denver Broncos that we're playing against on a Thursday night football game. Okay. We need to control ourselves and make sure that we do not have any turnover turnover plays, some guys that looking forward to getting some snaps here, guys that, probably will get opportunities. Obviously, Michael Pittman Jr. is going to get his opportunities. I expect him to play fantastic since the last couple games. He's made a couple minor mistakes, including that drop that everybody already knows about. But honestly, I could see tight ends, guys, start to step up a little bit in that area, because we have massive mismatches in that vicinity. And against this New England Patriots team, I think our tight ends really match up very, very good against the linebackers and safeties in this game.
Yeah, and just that dimension that Sam brings to this offense, that mobility and stuff. If you guys go and watch the Patriots, I did a lot of cramming on them over the last week, and so they've not been as stingy with mobile quarterbacks as years past. You've been seeing some chinks in the armor where some of these guys are losing discipline and stuff. And then if you, Sam, roll out pocket, whatever, delayed quarterbacks runs, RPOs. This is the type of stuff that Sam brings to the table. And if we can, we're talking about if any of these guys are not fully effective, or if they can't play at all, now you're putting pressure on that defense and communication and stuff. So, like I said, I'm not expecting a pretty game. All I'm wanting is, the Colts to end up with more points at the end of the day than the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, okay, so that we're going to go into a little bit in here. Hey, what's going on, Aunt Rogers? Appreciate you being in here. Okay, King, what's up, King? He says, glad Quiddy is back. Boy, we have been missing him. We absolutely have, but not necessarily for the starting quality, but for the depth, right? Yeah. Because I will say Taekwon Lewis came in and stepped in and played as well, if not better than what Quiddy Pay did before he came in. But because now that, Lewis is out, Quiddy comes back, we're still hurting on that depth. And that kind of sucks. But I am glad that Quiddy is back. Tom talks about Matt Pryor starting. He gives up. He's going to be that guard. He's going to be the guard. But to be fair, I thought Pryor played better at guard than what Dennis Kelly played at left tackle. I'm just saying. And that's not saying a whole lot, but it is what it is. But, the I'm most worried about is what defensive line, how they're going to handle a certain pass rusher. Okay. With New England. Okay. Because Matt Judon, not only is he a speed edge rusher on the outside, but he is very good at running stunts back on the inside. And we have to be prepared and ready for that.
Yeah. And the thing is normally you see him lining up over the right tackle, and Braden Smith is not a lock on this one. Judon is one of those, just dogs, the guys that you really have to account for and even game plan to. But then you turn around and they move him around so much. You start thinking about him over that left tackle, especially if, you have either less, a 50% or 70% in Dennis Kelly, or if you're sitting there with a very green, raw, rookie tackle. Either way, that's a tall task. But, we've basically been singing this story all year long, it seems like, because of the limited offensive line good plays and stuff. So I think Sam and his mobility will hopefully help, slow down that pass rush a little bit. I mean, I want to pull this up because he says he's asking about the loss of Nyheim Hines. He says, do you think Dion or Hines? And honestly, guys, this is a combo pack. Okay. Hines was good out of the backfield and catching. Hines was good from the slot. There was a lot of things that he could do for this offense. We didn't see it as much as we'd hoped to. But I'll tell you right now, I think Paris Campbell has an opportunity this weekend to really just continue on that path. I mean, if you guys look over his last 3 weeks, it's like it's like, okay, now he realizes, okay, I'm going to stay healthy and everything's going my way. Let's excel at our job and stuff. Yeah, you need him to be a possession receiver. He's been that guy. You need him to be a guy that can stretch the field and make that. He's doing that last week, So, like I said, this is a very multiple person answers as far as how do you fulfill that loss of Nyheim. But with that, there's a lot of ways that you can slow down this pass rush because, like we were saying, Paris in the middle, or Michael Pittman Jr. or Kylan Granson or, Jelani Woods. There's a lot of potential here that our offense could really slow down this pass rush early in the game.
All right. So Ant brings up a good question. He says, with Taekwon being done with the season, do we think that he's done with the Colts? Honestly, I don't think so. As well as he played last year before week 8, when he had his injury, and as well as he's played this year before he had his injury during week 8, which is odd. I think he's played well enough to earn another year contract. It just depends upon how much. I don't expect something massive, but as well as he's been playing, I think that he could play and produce. Now, I like I said, I don't expect a long-term contract, but I don't expect high money either because, obviously he's only played half a season the last 2 years.
My only concern to that is, to your point, Taekwon has really, every time he got injured, he was making a spectacular play. He really has come into his own the last year. Well, first 8 weeks and in the first 8 weeks of this year. My concern is if it gets into a bit more. Yes, I think Ballard's going to set his line. And is there somebody that has seen enough from Taekwon? As the Colts have, because, these guys, these talent evaluators, they're scouring the team and stuff. So I just don't know if we got into a bit more, would we lose out on a Taekwon Lewis? But like you said, I do fully expect that the Colts are going to offer him something that's going to be, one of those, come in here, let's, but yet also put some incentives and stuff in there to help him get a little extra pay.
All right. So going up against this game, I think our defense has, in all honesty, okay, outside of their tight ends, I think our defense matches up incredibly well against the Patriots. Now, they're tight ends, but they got 2 very, very good tight ends, okay? And depending upon how Gus Bradley sets up his game plan on how to cover those guys, okay, is depending upon whether or not they're going to eat us alive. But they're the only guys that I am actually honestly afraid of. If they end up putting like Gilmore on one of the tight ends, then that's going to leave, who in my opinion is probably their better wide receiver out there, to make some plays against this. And it just depends on where they put Gilmore in this game. But I think our front 7 is going to eat that offensive line alive for the Patriots. It's not as good as it has been in years past, especially with the injuries that they've got sitting out there, especially at center. So, like I said, this is an opportunity. Hit the running backs in the backfield, especially guys like Ramondre Stevenson, who is a bit of a power back who's got deceptive speed. Okay, so, and good hands. Ramondre's got some good hands too. He's a good all around running back. But you get in the backfield with guys like Stewart and Buckner and cause disruption and get in Mac Jones's face. Mac Jones will throw wild footballs. Okay. You get pressure on him and he will gift you the football occasionally. So we got to really get pressure out there. Sometimes, look, Gus, you're going to have to send a blitz occasionally, maybe. All right, in order to make sure this happens. This is that one game that I feel like you should probably do that.
Yeah, and I want to once again reiterate that run game, I was going into this, I was thinking, oh, man, what is Harris's situation going to be? With him being limited, okay, right now, and questionable coming into this, that really is going to hurt them in a twofold because not only do you lose, like you said, you got the Thunder with the guy you just mentioned, and then you had Harris, which was sort of your lightning and stuff. But he was also taking some of those reps so that he could so the other guy could catch a blow and get some oxygen or whatever it was needed and stuff. And the thing is without that, without that double edge Harris versus and stuff, I sit there and think that it's going to lessen them in the second half. And as you guys know, the defense for the Colts just gets a lot stingier in that second half. So there again, I'd like to get an early start, but I'm not going to sit there and say that I'm going to hold my breath for it because haven't seen that all year. Haven't seen that of last year. So, but if we could just keep this game at a solid combative, maybe go in with a 3-point lead at halftime. Let's try that out for size.
What?
A halftime lead. What do you guys think?
What? Oh my goodness, you're asking for the world.
But like I said, I think that their running game is going to gas out as long as Harris is, not as. See, the thing is about with Belichick injury reports is sometimes, there's a lot more smoke and mirrors than you might get with other teams. So that's where I'm like, is Damian Harris really that beat up, or is it, just sort of, oh, surprise, he's going to get 20 snaps or 20 carries.
20 carries.
Yeah.
Ant comes in here and says, yeah, I know Ballard loves him some Paris Campbell, but I think he still has a lot to prove. Now, I'm going to straight up say this. In my personal opinion, when it comes to his abilities that he has provided on the field this year, I don't think he has to prove anything. I think he has shown that he can do a lot out there on the field. The proof that I think that I will agree with you is continue to stay healthy, continue to be available on the field. If you could do that, I know he's going to produce while he's out there.
Yeah, and even when Paris over the last few years, even whenever he was limited, he still flashed. He still had, plays where you're just like, oh, okay. It was just one of those. It's like, like you sit there and you see a good preview to a movie, but then you never get to go see the movie. It's like, oh man, I want to go see it. And we just never got to see it. This is the closest we've come to seeing a full movie from Paris Campbell. And I'm telling you right now, in the first few chapters of this movie, I'm enjoying what I'm seeing from Paris because he has given this team everything that he has. He's shown that, yes, the old Paris Campbell of the Ohio State days of stretching the field, he'll do that. But then he's also shown the willingness to sit there and grind out the possession type game as well.
Absolutely. Guys, I'm going to take this moment now to go ahead and ask you to smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share this to your favorite social media. That little red share button down there below Loyalist, it's there for a reason. All right? We appreciate it. And then while you're at it, check out some of the links in the description. We've got, obviously, our Patreon. We got new Patreon members already. It's only $5 a month. You can come in every Wednesday, sit down, we can talk with other Patreon members. And then of course you get Patreon specific content, extra content, right, from the Believe, behind the scenes stuff. And then of course there's Newsbreak. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts signed pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. What's up, P. Draggy? He says this is a Gilly revenge game. I don't know if it's actually a revenge. I don't think that Gilmore has a lot of bad hatred for the Patriots. I think it's just, they couldn't afford to pay him at the time, and he left. And that's how it happened. Now, does that mean that he doesn't want to play well against his his former team? Absolutely not. He wants to go out there and do his best. He's already stated that multiple times. He wants to go out there and play lockdown. And I hope absolutely that Tom Williams' prediction of 2 interceptions this game will be on point.
Yes, sir, because that is something that we have come to love about Gilly is being the student of the game, of really studying these guys and knowing what their preferences are and stuff. And let's be honest, there has not been an offense that he's seen more film on probably than this Patriots team, And the thing is Gilly, what he's providing on the defensive side and on the field is huge. But I don't know if you guys got to hear, but early on in the week, our second, game QB sat there and knocked on the door of Gilly and said, "Hey, man, what insight can you give me and stuff?" And sat there and they talked it out. I mean, honestly, wouldn't that have been an amazing conversation to be a part of? Just to sit there and listen to, about how, what is it like? What do these guys do? And that is, you give Sam just that confidence and just realizing, okay, this is what I need to go in, and then you apply that to what you're seeing on film and stuff. I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying that Gilly is a coach out there, but I think that there is a lot of value with the way that he studies the film and stuff that he can provide Sam in this offense.
Absolutely. Dabney comes in here and says, hopefully we get some good CBS announcers this week. Look, don't worry about the announcers. Just turn the TV off. Go to our Discord, watch the same game we're watching, and then listen to us, because that's so much better. So much better. Because you don't want to hear the gibber of the announcers that they usually have on these games, man. Come check us out on our live game reaction. I'm sorry, I got to plug us.
Absolutely, and guys, I'll tell you right now, we really appreciate everything you guys have been in there. The Saints really starting to pick up speed and stuff, and we're having a blast doing it. And you know what? Let's get that chat going. Get in there. Enjoy the game with us all together, like Lawrence said, and I'll tell you right now, there's nothing better than sitting there with 50, 100, 150 people all at the same time cheering for the same thing. And then you got, of course, your other 15, 20 of the opposing team, but they got to sit there and watch their team lose every once in a while.
Yeah. What's up, Mikey Mendez? Appreciate you being in here. Says, I'm hoping that Dion gets fed the ball a lot. I'm going to be at the games. Whoa, you're going to the game? That's awesome. That's going to be difficult. A Colts fan in Gillette. Good luck. Good luck to you, my guy, and my sympathies. But no, I'm kidding. He says, I'm excited. I'd be excited too, just to be there. The atmosphere in Gillette is always fun, especially in a game like this.
Mikey, I'll tell you right now, make sure you get back with us and let us know, because I think the Colts can go in there and really quiet down that Foxboro crowd. And because there's a lot of questions with their teams. I mean, heck, a couple weeks ago, you were hearing about a quarterback battle and all this other stuff. I mean, so this isn't the game that you always grew accustomed to, watching the Patriots and the Colts. Both teams have some questions and stuff. And I just want to know how quickly does it take this Colts team to take the Foxboro crowd out of it?
That's a good question. And this actually ties in with that. Michael Littleton, I keep wanting to say Littleton. I'm sorry, my guy. Says, any change at all in the offense with Frank as the OC? If so, what do you see different? And that there is some change that I fully expect to see. With the fact that Marcus Brady was a lot of the game planning with the first quarter, and he scripts the first quarter plays. Now Frank Reich will be scripting those first quarter plays and then adjusting as the game goes on, like he normally does afterwards. So those first quarter plays will be a lot different as compared to what we've seen all year this year. So I'm expecting a little bit more. I fully expect Frank to kind of open it up a little bit with his patented, kind of what is this type of play? Hey, I ain't seen this in forever, or ever at all. We see that occasionally. I expect to see one, two or three of those type of plays in the first quarter, just to try to get out into a lead and to catch Bill Belichick off guard.
Yeah, and the thing is we always know that, Coach Reich, up till this year, actually this offense up till this year has been a really strong starting team, and there's another thing, you look at that offensive line, but now you went out there, you got your young quarterback, got his feet wet last week, got a feel for what his comfort level is, and honestly, I don't think the confidence from Sam was as much of a question mark as the coaching staff's confidence in Sam. And I think that they got to see a lot of stuff this last week where they're like, okay, I can see where that goes, and to your point, you get rid of Brady, you have to make a statement with these first series of plays and stuff, because everybody's heard that, is it a scapegoat situation, all that. I mean, we've already covered that. I mean, I don't think it was. But the thing is this is the opportunity to put that to bed. This is the opportunity to say, okay, we made a change, but this is the benefit from it. And that's something that we just haven't seen all season.
Absolutely. Dabney has a really good question. Who's Bill Belichick going to start at quarterback this week? There's no question in my mind. It's going to be Mac Jones. But if our defense can befuddle Jones early and maybe get a couple turnovers, we might see what we saw 2 weeks ago where Bill Belichick, before even, you might end up pulling him and bring it. And if that happens, you're going to have to be a little bit, patient, because that will fire up the crowd in Gillette, because we've seen it happen last time.
Yeah. And the thing is just get that, that first off, defense, get a scoop and a score, get a pick six, do something like that early in this game to help give your offense a little bit of mojo and stuff. And then to your point, get Mac Jones really second guessing himself. Get Mac Jones, because every little half second that he's sitting in that pocket trying to figure out I'm really seeing what I need to be seeing. That's that much quicker that you got your Quiddies and your Defos and Grovers and Yannick Ngakwe's all coming to and man, I'll tell you right now, if we can get in that situation where we do end up getting him to pull Mac Jones and put in Zappy, sorry, then that right there is going to be a victory. That's a victory because, Belichick is very adamant about this is his guy and this is who he wants. But if you can sit there and get them to pull that, honestly, tell me that wouldn't stoke up a defense, sit there and go, all right, we got that guy now. Let's go do more of the same to this young man.
Ant's got a really good question. How do we get Franklin and Shaq on the field at the same time? I think Bill Belichick will do that for us. I honestly believe that Bill Belichick will run out there with a lot of 21 or 12 personnel. And when that happens, you're going to see your base linebacker formations out there, 3 linebackers. And when that happens, that means that Franklin and Shaquille Leonard and Okereke will all 3 be on the field at the same time. Because the Patriots run a lot of 2 tight end formations, which is something that the Colts haven't really faced a lot this year. And this is a situation, like I said, where I think we'll be seeing more base than what we have all year long.
Absolutely. And I do want to point out that last week, we got to see, I would say the majority of Shaq's snaps was on field with Zaire, because Shaq was more of it interchanging with Bobby O than he was with Zaire. We didn't see very many where you sat there and seen just Shaq and Bobby O on the field at the same time. So you're going to get it twofold. You're going to get it just through the natural pitch count of Shaq, but then also you're going to get it through the base defense.
Absolutely. Talon, my guy, says no way we win without Jonathan Taylor. Didn't we win our last game without Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah.
The last game we won. Pretty sure Deion Jackson had like 10 catches.
Yeah.
Out of the backfield,
116 yards from scrimmage or something. Yeah.
So it is most definitely possible, especially you also got to remember the Patriots run defense has not been good at all this year.
I was getting ready to say that was against a much better run defense. Wasn't that the Jags?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Actually.
But my point is, like I said, that defense is a lot better than a rush defense than what we're having up against the Patriots this week.
Yeah. And then don't forget, we have a certain running back that we just got back that is averaging over 5 yards a carry for us, while he was been playing with the Indianapolis Colts, and then he left for a little while and came back. And what's funny is now that he's back, he was talking about the organization, right? And he said, hey, now that I've been to other teams, a few other teams now, and seen the locker rooms, and he said, it's true. The Colts locker room is different, just different. Everyone supports everyone. And he said that is a rare thing in the NFL. Like, he didn't see that in other teams. When he went to other teams, he didn't see, your base guys bringing in, like supporting new people and even the guys behind them, supporting them the way that the Colts players and the organization does, having the back of each individual player out there. So that whole locker room mentality thing is very, very real for the Colts.
Yeah, and I do also want to remind you guys, yes, there's Deion Jackson, but then you also have Philip Lindsay, and you've got Jordan Wilkins, who, you got Zach Moss. Question is how much of the playbook does he know and stuff?
I don't think Zach plays this week.
Yeah, see, and that's why I think that it was a extra precaution for bringing in Jordan because, even though he hasn't been getting the snaps and stuff, look at his career with the Colts. He would sit out for 4 or 5 weeks and all of a sudden, boom, and get plugged in and stuff. So this isn't that much out of the norm as long as he's in good football shape. You know what I mean? How much? Yeah, and that's the thing. These guys don't just sit at home and go, all right, time to put the feet up and drink a beer. They're not you and I. You know what I mean? They're out there keeping in shape and stuff and hoping for the phone call from 32 teams. Just somebody give me another chance.
Absolutely. And look at this, Jordan Wilkins knows the playbook. I mean, he's been here, done that, So is he the guy that to catch the football in the backfield a lot? No. I expect that more out of Deion or Phillip than Jordan, but Jordan does run the ball very well. What's funny because him and Phillip run very similar in their kind of smooth style of running. You don't really see the steps nearly as much.
Yeah, sort of that Arian Foster-esque type of gliding. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
completely.
Absolutely. Guys, I think I'm going to end up cutting it a little early here. I'm kind of feeling a little upset that my stomach in that bathroom is screaming at me over here for some reason. I don't know why. But this has been fun. Please smash that like button. Make sure you're here for Sunday. Okay. You can always join. I will be dropping the Discord link like I always do during the live game reactions. And you can watch the exact same game that we are reacting to and anything else, just real quick, shout out to all of you who have been supporting us since we've been here. We're closing in on that 3K subscriber mark, so I appreciate that a ton. And I think we're going to have ourselves a special guest to go along with myself, Rodney McLeod, and Gerard Powers this Tuesday when we have our game breakdown against the Patriots. So you're not going to want to miss that either.
Yeah, and those of you, if you are Patreon members, check it out. Check out the Believe behind the scenes and stuff. You'll already know who that surprise guest is. And I'm telling you right now, guys, it's special. It's special.
I mean, it's still not a lock, but we'll find out. All right, guys. Appreciate all of you. And please don't forget to smash the like button. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, I want you to have a good one.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
I forgot to talk about one thing. What's the game predictions? Well, I've got, if you went and checked out, 24-17 Indy wins. Now let's hear what Loyalist has to say about it.
Colts score more points than the Patriots. That's all I care about. Like I said, I'm not expecting a beautiful game or anything. I got it somewhere around 19-13 Colts, 19-16 Colts. I know that's similar to what I had last week. I can't give them over 20 because we ain't seen it yet. But I'll tell you right now, we're going to see it this week because the defense is going to score a touchdown this week.
No. No. 24-17. Go Colts.